Oh my fucking god, bro.
Like, oh, I was so close. I was so close. I mean, how can you even predict that? I mean, I guess you could play it safe. I literally said you could play it safe, put Vitality and Mouse going for 3-1, 3-2. But who would have thought that they actually were like, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. In fact, okay, but like Jesus, and then we're gonna lose the spirit spot. We didn't have a one for Fury. I mean, Fury was our 0-3, but I swear I was picking that on the fact that they would have had shit matchups similar to Liquid. But I mean, our Liquid pick did go through. Legacy was really close. They really should have had it, quite honestly. They really should have had it. I was watching that game. They had map 2 and map 3 lead, and then they choked both. Like, how do you lose that? And then Aurora too. I mean, just kind of disappointing overall. You lose the G2. G2 actually looked decent. And yeah, I mean, I probably should put my trust in like another team possibly. But yeah, it's whatever. We got the wrong Brazilian team going through. But we got our GOAT Mongols, we got FaZe, and we got a very scrappy Na'Vi going through. Obviously, we got Vitality and Mouse going through. But Mouse are looking really shit. Pain went through, very scrapey game, but you know, should be interesting to watch nonetheless. And obviously Spirit and Furia went in pretty clean. So this brings us to playoffs, basically. Where do I think that they'll possibly go? Okay, now I'm wearing this jersey for a reason, and I think I'm just gonna have to say it. FAZE up. Okay, we're just going. Our pickems are so fucked at this point, right? Like, we could still go for gold, and I mean, I'm hoping this should at least hit gold at the very least. If we get that, we can guarantee gold at the very least. At least we won't be that embarrassing. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna say this is a FaZe major. Okay, we're going for the cinema pick. Okay, I mean, on paper, you really should just be saying like maybe Vitality, perhaps. But you know what? We're going for the narrative. FaZe up, baby. We are saying the FaZe major. Watch them get upset by Mongols or Furia and Pain. Who knows? Mouse and Spirit. Spirit looked really clean going into stage 3, and they just wiped the floor. Donk is just farming everybody. He's getting his kills, and you know, it should just be them. Mouse looked extremely scrappy. They literally went 0-2 on day 1, and they just barely made it by. For the most part, like, they had some good plays, but then they brought back the momentum. But like, I swear that game against Legacy should have taken that, and they just choked it out. But I'm just gonna say that Spirit are gonna go through to quarters at this point. I think that's a safe bet to say. Na'Vi versus Vitality. I think we just gotta say that Vitality are gonna make it through. Na'Vi looked very scrappy coming by. Like, it was legit enough, but that also was probably like screwed on by the shit run that Vitality had into stage 3 at the start, at the very least. But Na'Vi was able just to wipe the floor with a bunch of like lower ranked teams, and they did okay for the most part. But I think that honestly, it was not looking like any confident. If you're a Na'Vi fan, I would agree that, you know, your team, you should be very thankful that they just made playoffs for the most part. FaZe have been powering up. Simple has been looking fantastic going into this. Like, he has really found himself as a player going in 3-1 into the stage. Not really much that you could really argue that they played badly against. Obviously, they lost the first match to Aurora, but then they took it against Mouse, they took it against Legacy, which was coming off hot, and then the Mongols game, they just like smited them basically. So, you know, I think we just gotta say FaZe up, right? We just gotta say FaZe up, and I accidentally tapped that. And then Furia and Pain. This one, I mean, I think on paper, you probably want to say Furia, in my opinion. You could put Pain for the upset, possibly, but I think Furia is a competent enough team to kind of, like, power up, basically, through this. Like, I think Furia was like looking fairly like, they were looking really good when they made the run through stage 3. Like, to get that 3-0, like, if we could just go back again, you know, clean game. They were able to very nail biter game against Mongols. They beat Aurora convincingly, and then they beat VP as well, sending them down, and then it just started downfall for their fuck Egotronic, I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna just say that these are probably my quarterfinal picks. Now, Spirit versus Vitality. On paper, like, Vitality wins this a lot of the time. We could see the upset potential by Donk, but I think Vitality are powering up once more, where I think we're just gonna see Vitality just, like, kind of overcome them. This is like this side of the bracket is much harder to win. And legitimately, if I don't think that FaZe wins this, then that is just a straight up embarrassment. But I mean, it's already much of a miracle nonetheless because, you know, they have Simple in the first place to make this run. But, you know, I think they have like a very decent chance. They have a very decent chance to beat, like, to make it to the final and even win it, for that matter. Furia, I mean, I think that they do have some really good qualities. I would say if Mongols scrape by a FaZe game, I think Furia I would probably put Furia over the Mongols in that case. Yeah, I mean, I know that I'm kind of going off of track record, and, you know, sometimes you're unsure whether or not, like, you know, teams will perform the same way if they had played each other previously. But I think with the mentality that the Mongols generally have, right, it's kind of, they get upset a lot, or they kind of fall off a lot during playoffs. And that, plus how much the crowd is going to be supporting, like, FaZe and whatnot, is going to be, the pressure's going to be put onto them, basically. I love both teams. I literally have both jerseys, but I'm just saying there might be a FaZe major. But yeah, FaZe over Furia, though, I think I feel convinced enough to say that. Only being that I think the rifle power, the star power, and the firepower on the team right now is working really well. If everyone is keeping up to the same level of performance that they have been keeping up to, they should just be taking that over Furia. I think Furia have a lot of good components and qualities as a team. This team has, like, really impressed me for the most part, considering that I was, like, a Furia hater. But, you know, I feel like FaZe would probably have the slight upper hand on that. But it could be just a Furia. It could be a Furia final. At this point, we're just going for whatever. We are just throwing darts at the wall and seeing if they stick. And then finally, FaZe versus Vitality really could go. I think on paper, most people will probably just say Vitality. It should just be a Vitality major. But we're going for the narrative, okay? We are just saying FaZe up, okay? This is a FaZe major. They're winning the major. And I think that's all we need to say. FaZe up, baby. FaZe up. Thank you.